Приветствую, друзья. Это «Бутик Политик». С вами Кирилл Задов, также Анна Пекерман, президент нашей радиостанции, и кандидат от 47-го избирательного округа в City Council George Sarantopoulos. Guys, hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me on again.
Yeah, pleasure to have you here.
We're happy to be here. Thank you for the introduction. And George, thank you so much for stopping by again. We're getting close. June 24th is around the corner.
We
the
are
early
getting close.
voting is on. How do you feel?
Listen, I got butterflies in my stomach. I'm a candidate like everyone else, but I'm confident that our message is getting out. We get people that are calling us, emailing us, texting us. They want to be part of it. They want to help out. They want to volunteer. They want to put up a sign. So I'm confident. We got some good energy out there.
What is the main message? What is the main message that you're sending out there?
I would say our main message is that the quality of life in our city is under assault. I mean, there's no question about that. We have friends and family that all decided, hey, life in the city is a little tough for me. I want to move out. And I always say it's death by a thousand cuts. Nobody decides to move out of the city overnight because there's a hurricane or a tornado. They move out because, hey, there's a crazy person on the train, there's package theft, the real estate taxes went up, I can't find a good job. The rent keeps going up if I'm renting. There's rats on the street. I mean, it just adds up. And then after a while, people would say, you know what, the hell with it. I'm going to move to Florida or North Carolina or even, God forbid, Jersey.
There's no benefit in moving to Jersey anymore.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I love Brooklyn. I want to stay in Brooklyn. And hopefully I want to die in Brooklyn. This is a beautiful place, but we have to fight for it.
Well, not for a while, though, okay?
Not for a while.
Yes, please stay
But
with
it's beautiful in the sense that it's community. Like, you can walk outside and somebody knows you. You walk to the corner store, they know you. You run into a friend, you run into a family. A lot of big cities, that's not the way life is, That's the beautiful part.
Let me just put your name out there one more time so people know that we have George Sarantopoulos on our radio today, running from the Republican Party line for the Republican primaries,
That's
which are
correct.
taking place June 24th. And the motto is, let's make Brooklyn great again.
That is correct.
So George is in for this position. He's up for the job. And we're going to find out during this talk show that we have right now today, during this interview from George, why he is the right man for the job. George Sarantopoulos, just, remember the name, George Sarantopoulos. Not very difficult.
Like Stephanopoulos, that guy on ABC.
But a
Like
little twist,
Stephanopoulos,
right?
only better.
Yeah, only better without the ABC contract.
George, okay, you're running from the Republican Party line. Republicans are not so favored in New York City. Brooklyn is a little bit better than other places. Yeah, let's hope. Please, what does it take for Republicans to, become more favorable party in New York?
I think it's a two-step process. One, we are the party of common sense. I mean, we don't go to universities to get our ideas. We don't need a professor to write a paper on how to reimagine garbage collection because it's racist. Our ideas are common sense ideas. We know what has to be done. Put more cops, keeps our streets clean, have good schools for our children. I mean, all our ideas are common sense ideas. The problem is we have a city council that's been taken over by the Democratic Socialists of America. These are not Democrats that were 20, 30 years ago. They were union Democrats, good Democrats, moderate Democrats. These people are far left, and they have crazy ideas, and they want to reimagine everything from A to Z, which will only make life in the city harder and more difficult and more expensive, and on and on and on. So I would say those ideas of the Republican Party are common sense ideas. That's number one. And I would say the second thing, as Republicans, we want to talk to everybody. I showed up in parts of the district where Democrats were like, did you get lost? Were you, what are you doing here? They're surprised that I'm willing to go to talk to different parts of the community, the black community, the Hispanic community, where Republicans are a little afraid to go.
What do you hear when you knock on doors? Because right now, as far as I understand, this is the time to talk to people, to hear what they need, to hear what they want, to hear what they're afraid of. What kind of messages do you get?
I'm knocking on a lot of seniors' doors, and the number one thing that they're terrified about is crime. And it's the crime of opportunity. It's not, hey, I don't want to get knocked over. and robbed. I don't want to get hit by an e-bike. I'm worried. We had talked about at another time, me and you privately, about anti-Semitism that's going on.
Yeah.
As somebody who's married to a Chinese woman, I know what it means to be, I would hear it from her fear of being on the subway, especially during the pandemic.
Right.
Asian women were getting targeted. So I know exactly what it means, not me myself, but obviously being married to an Asian woman and hearing about a specific group being attacked on the streets of our city. So, I would say these are the things that people are concerned about when you knock on their door, about being, getting out there and getting about. Our seniors are terrified of what's going on there. That's the number one thing I hear about.
So what's the game of action?
Well, I'm offering, as a councilman, I'm offering to take anyone who doesn't want police officers in their district because, they want to defund the police. Let's bring them to our district because a lot of our councilmen want to defund the police currently. That's what's going on. So I don't know if that could be done actually budget-wise, but I definitely want our cops in this district, our precincts in this district are understaffed. So we definitely need more police officers here.
So how are you going to do it? You're going to increase salaries, or what's the policy?
Well, look, I make a joke about it, but there's some districts in our city that don't want to have police officers. They want to cut down. They want to defund the police. They think social workers are going to be what cleans up the subways and the streets, and I don't really believe that. So I think we should try to recruit police officers and recruit police officers from the community too.
You mean these would be representatives? Official representatives who are against the police,
we have city council members that are, their policy is they want to defund the police. I mean, they when election time comes, obviously they hide those tweets or social media posts, but they're not friends to the police department. And also, there's a bunch of laws that have been written in the last couple of years that have taken away the power of the police. I would say. The immunity, the discovery laws, raise the age, bail reform. I mean, I'm sure I'm missing a couple, but the list goes on and on. And now the city council wants to do away with the gang database. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. There's a database that the NYPD keeps, and after a while, if you haven't committed a crime, they want to erase your name from the gang database. So if you get arrested after a certain amount of time, the police won't be able to identify that you've been a member of a gang.
Uh-huh.
I know it sounds crazy. I mean, you guys are like...
Yeah, what's the benefit of that?
Well, you can
like
see...
second strike, so third strike, so they know that you are already not the first-time offender.
Yeah, I mean, look, cops work on patterns. They, the way they've told me, the investigative work is to notice patterns. If you have been busted many times robbing a certain type of crime or a certain type, let's say robbing commercial trucks, that's a crime that's common. You're robbing somebody before they make a delivery, and that's what your gang is known for. They put you in the database, so they keep track of that. So you get arrested, many years later, they know there's a pattern there that, hey, Mr. So-and-so has been arrested multiple times. I mean, that gang database is a tool that the police department uses to do their job.
Absolutely. This is crazy. It's crazy. George, one question. I think we have time for one more question, and that is a serious question. I mean, what is going on with the Republican Party of Brooklyn? It's ridiculous. I mean, we're trying to get, the Russian community is, in its majority, a Republican community. We have some people already elected from our community. And there's just absolutely ridiculous things going on. People are crazy, not nice to each other. There's no unity in the Republican Party. People are dividing our community. People are being nasty to each other. We're in the Republican primaries. George, what can be done to stop all of that?
I don't think there's much of a Republican Party left here. We have no infrastructure, no office, no dinner that's once a year. Every party throughout the country has a dinner that's used for fundraising. It's called either the Lincoln Dinner or the Reagan-Lincoln Dinner. We don't even have that.
So why money is not pouring into Brooklyn for Republican Party to be?
Well, the Republican Party needs to do the Brooklyn Republican Party needs to do their own job. They need to have at least a dinner once a year. The dinner across the country is used as a fundraising tool for the Republican Party. Let's say it's the Seattle Republican Party or the Arkansas Republican Party, whatever. They'll have a dinner once a year, and that's a big fundraising tool. We don't even have that.
Why? What would be the
I'm
answer?
not in leadership in the Republican Party. That's why,
So we don't have leadership. We don't have good leadership.
We don't have good leadership. And that's the guy who's running against me.
Yeah, by the way.
By the way.
The leader of the Republican Party is running against you, and he has not been doing his job as a leader of the Republican Party. So and it's the opposite. Unfortunately, right now, the Republican Party is being torn, especially in the Russian community. It's insane.
Can I just point out two failures of this party in the last 6 months?
Sure.
One, we just lost a Senate seat that was a 50% Trump district. It was here. Senator Sutton beat Carl Kohler. That district is a Trump district. Trump could actually shoot somebody in the district and still win that district. And we just lost that district. That's number one. Secondly, we are not running somebody against Councilwoman Susan Zhang. Susan Zhang not assaulted a police officer, but bit a police officer.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I read about it.
Yeah. And we are not even putting a Republican challenger. So it's easy to say I back the blue. I'm support the police, but we're not running somebody against somebody who assaulted a police officer. That's not the Republican Party. I know. I mean, those are the two biggest failures in the last couple of months. And the guy's running on like, hey, I've been the greatest chairman since ever. And those are big failings of the party here.
George, we need to fix.
We
need to fix the entire Republican Party of Brooklyn, and we're certainly counting on you because we need common sense, not just in words but in action. So
and please, rats. It's crazy now.
The rats I hear a lot about. People are upset about the
rats now. At night, they go into cars from the bottom. They live in the cars during winter. When I drive into my driveway, I see 2-3 rats running in front of my car. It's like a safari.
I've seen rats bigger than my French bulldog.
This is crazy. What's going on here?
Yeah,
crazy.
All right, George, you got to do something about it. First, we need to get George elected. Then he's going to do something about it. So, George Sarantopoulos, now we have an election that already started, the early election. That people can vote now, but if they don't want to vote now or they can't, please come out June 24th, vote for George Sarantopoulos, Republican Party, and let's make Brooklyn great again, please.
Please.